Hi, I'm Courtney, Godsoe, missionary to the Philippines, and my wife and I have been there for over 9 years. I'd just like to share a little bit about probably what you've heard a lot about, and that is the stress or the culture shock and stress of getting to the mission field. And I used to think in Bible college that, yeah, that's no problem. I'm a flexible kind of guy. I'll fit in just fine and we'll do fine. But when you really immerse yourself in the culture, it's an eye-opener. And just some suggestions. Of course, we need to be flexible and try to adapt to the culture, but the more you change, the more stress you're going to feel. If you're not flexible, you're not going to adapt to the culture, and to be honest, you're not going to have as much stress because you're not trying to adjust. But if you do adjust like you need to adjust, it's going to cause some stress. Just some little things that might affect you. And for example, the values. That was a real eye-opener for me. I had been married to a Filipino. We'd been married for 25 years when we got there. So I thought it was pretty well adapted to the Filipino culture, but actually my wife was more adapted to American culture than I was to Filipino culture. But for example, their values, real eye-openers. And for example, it's much worse to call somebody a thief than it is to steal. So you have to be careful how you approach certain things there. And they don't have the same public, I guess, to us we would consider it rude, and to them it's not an issue. For example, merging with traffic. Merging with people when you're walking. Americans, we naturally step back a little bit, let somebody step in front of us, or vice versa. We naturally merge when we're walking and when we're driving. Not there. They just bump shoulders and squeeze through the door, and then when they're through the door, they'll let the door go, and it'll hit you in the face if you're not watching out. And it's not rude to them, but for an American, that can be very rude and almost seem aggressive to you. And so it's easier said than done. You know, you think you're real flexible and you'll just fit right in with the culture, but it will wear on you, and you need to do some things to prevent yourself from getting too stressed out. I think number one is your walk with God, and then number two, take care of your physical health, and really ask yourself, are these values that I have determine whether or not they're biblical values or cultural values? And again, lots of prayer and lots of patience, and just try to grow every day. And as you change, take some rest in between your dealings with people. A lot of things will affect how you adapt to the culture, and we don't really have time to get into those things right at the moment. But the number one thing is just be mentally prepared that no matter how flexible you think you are, you're going to have an eye-opener there. Thank you very much.